We have arrived in the small city of Hilton. We're about an hour to an hour and a half north of the Durban shipping port, which is where the van will go to be shipped out of Africa. We found this great little Airbnb and we have to curve up through the mountains a little bit. We're hoping the fact that it's in the mountains will keep it from being hot for all the work we have coming up. But so far it is looking like a great little town to do all the stuff we need to do. Just small enough to make it easy, but also big enough to have everything we need to get the van ready. So let's get to this Airbnb.
In 400 meters, turn right onto Ridge Road. In 300 meters, your destination will be on the right.
So 66 would have been ours, but we're the door right after it. We have made it to our Airbnb, and unfortunately we could not fit in the parking lot of our Airbnb. The hill was just too steep to get down in there, but lucky for us, she allowed us to park in the parking area of the Airbnb that she owns right next door, and there's a gate that connects the two properties, so it's going to work out just fine. I think she's got to come open it. She greets us. Jay, this is awesome of you. Thank you, sir.
No, it's not a problem. Where you guys from?
We're from the States, but we've lived in that thing for 6.5 years.
Oh, man.
And we've been to over, I think, 54 countries. And it's time to go home.
Okay.
So we've rented this place to do the work it takes to get it where they'll take it on the cargo ship. Okay. There's a lot of work you have to do on the insides, where customs can see everything, and some stuff can't go on the ship. You know, like some like, if we've got WD-40 for the engine, you know, lubricants, so we got to clean a bunch of stuff. So we'll be throwing a bunch of stuff out. In fact, when it's time to leave, if you want spices, can't take any food. And he's a chef, so we got a lot of spices, and we'll be throwing a lot of stuff out. So, all right. Whew. Forward, that way, this far.
Oops.
We've stayed in Airbnbs throughout our journey, and sometimes you walk in and you're like, oh, this will be okay for a few days, or oh, I'm not really crazy about this one, but it's close to the stuff we need. We've had a few really good ones. We had an excellent one in Buenos Aires, but this one, once we got the van parked and we started moving in, this one is absolutely perfect for what we need. We have the space we need, we have covered areas to work, and we have a back porch where we can pull out and organize everything without worrying about the weather. And to say that the cats love it is an extreme understatement. And then we have this epic backyard right here behind us, just kind of overlooking the valley. It's peaceful, and the weather is turning out to be just perfect. It's rainy season here, but as long as it, you know, is raining, we have so many covered areas to work, so it's fantastic. It's a little 1-bedroom, 1-bath. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of this shower. To be really honest with you, that is one thing that I will absolutely not miss about living full-time in a van, and that's the shower situation. So, but nice little kitchen. This place is going to work out just fine for the very hectic and very busy few days we have ahead of us.
All right, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that it's another nostalgic day. And today we're moving everything out of the van, and we have to reduce it all down to what we can carry on a plane. So when we first started this journey, we had a big house, way bigger than we needed. And anyway, we sold everything we own. Everything we now own is either in the bank or in this van. This is our life, this is our stuff. And so now we've kind of got to go through, and the stuff that doesn't fit in our suitcases has got to get tucked away in the van. It's got to be where customs can get through it and see it. And then also it's got to be secure so that when it's on the ship for 41 long days, that it doesn't get ransacked and everything gets stolen. So anyway, we brought a bunch of stuff in yesterday. We had a great night's sleep. Boy, the kitties are loving this little Airbnb we have here. And yeah, today we're gonna carry some more stuff in. I think there will be some stuff like under the bathroom stuff, bedding, some other things, maybe like general toiletries that we can just leave in the van as is. If somebody takes them, well, that's that. But stuff like our camera gear, our drives with all of our footage, that's definitely got to go with us. And then clothes. But yeah, all the food that we had has either got to be eaten, donated, or thrown away. Again, dishes can probably stay just in the van. We'll maybe put them in a box and tuck them away. And I had a bit of a tragic story. When I first got back to the van yesterday, I opened this door, first load, and this fell out. And if you guys have been following, you probably know this is Snow's coffee cup and has been the whole entire trip. And so for it to break at the last very moment is kind of symbolic of our journey, just barely holding it together just long enough. But anyway, I've gone through 3 coffee cups during our journey, by the way. But anyway, probably not going to show you lugging all this stuff in. Maybe we'll kind of try to show you some kind of way what happens, but that's what we're doing. We got to empty the van, get things sorted, get things back in the van, get things into the suitcase, and go on to the next step.
All right, I'm sitting here reading the final email from our shipping agent, which, by the way, we use IVSS shipping out of the United Kingdom. Martin is who runs that place over there, and we have used him for both of our previous shippings from Panama to Colombia and from Argentina to Belgium. So he is kind of a go-to guy for overlanders shipping their vehicles around the world because it is a special niche. Ships normally are shipping, new vehicles that are clean and have never been driven and are locked up and secure and just brand new out of the factories. So you have to find certain ships that will allow used vehicles, especially allow used vehicles and leave stuff in them. So he's the go-to for that. So you can just search IVSS shipping online and it'll pop up if you ever need to ship a camper van anywhere across the seas. But I'm reading this email and there's a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo about how they're not responsible and the vehicle has to look empty. Everything needs to be stored away and secure so it won't move around, out of sight. It needs to look like nobody lives in this vehicle. So I'll just kind of real quick go through the list, and you'll have to bear with me. I'm going to read it. But these are the things we are not allowed to have in the vehicle. And one of them is fairly new for us, and it's kind of disappointing. I'll tell you more about that at the end. The vehicle must not contain any of the following items: liquids, none whatsoever; lubricants, fuels, oils, cleaning products, nothing. No pressurized containers. This includes toiletries and small gas canisters. No spare fuel canisters. That one's a bummer because we have 6 really nice gas cans that we've used on this journey, and we're going to leave them here. We can't take them with us. No hazardous or flammable items whatsoever. or items that can be considered or deemed hazardous. No gas cylinders or bottles unless you have a gas-free certificate. So they're talking about propane bottles right there, which we don't have to worry about. We are electric only, no propane. No visible loose items whatsoever. The vehicle must look empty, with any items stowed away neatly and securely in places that cannot be seen. No food, tinned, dried, fresh, or spices. No alcohol, no drinks. No e-bikes or e-scooters with lithium batteries. And our two fantastic little scooters, they've got lithium batteries, so we have to figure out what we're going to do with those. And the vehicle must be clean. No mud or dirt or organic matter of any kind. If any prohibited items are found, the vehicle may not be shipped. Fines or other penalties may apply. Any costs would be for your account. The deliberate concealing of hazardous items will lead to the unit not being shipped. They take this stuff serious, guys, and that's why we have to literally take everything out of the van and sort through every single thing and then put it all back together and close up those containers. So that's what we have ahead of us. You don't just put your van on a ship and say, see you in 6 or 7 weeks on the other side. It doesn't work like that. That's why we've got our work cut out for us. Today, at least for the first half of the day, we are taking a break from packing and organizing and cleaning. And that is because we need to take an Uber all the way across town to the regional airport here in this city to pick up a rental car. Well, we're getting it a day or so earlier than planned because it's just too hard to get the van in and out of our parking at the Airbnb, and we have some errands to run. So we're picking up a rental car from Avis, and then we need to go and find suitcases. We do not have enough for everything we're going to have to carry with us on the airplane. We need one big suitcase and one carry-on size suitcase. We also need to go to the pet store. We need to get a second pet carrier that is airplane compliant. And it took me a while to find a pet store that had one, but we did. So we drove all the way across to the other side of town to get that. We picked up the little pee pads, some calming spray, some treats, just little stuff that we're going to make little care packages for the kitties while we're on the airplane. And on that note, if you followed our journey, you know last time they flew cargo when we went Buenos Aires to Belgium. We're not doing that this time. They're going to fly in the plane with us. But we'll get into that more in the next video. We're not going to get there yet. So we got in our rental car, and a really funny thing is we've gotten used to driving on the wrong side of the road. And I know it's not the wrong side, so that's a joke as an American. But we've been driving our van where the steering wheel is on the American side, on the left side of the vehicle. Well, in our rental car, Curt has to drive on the wrong side of the road and on the wrong side of the car, and it is giving him a fit. The blinker and the windshield wipers are even swapped on different sides. So every time he wants to turn his blinker on, he's turning the windshield wipers on. I was trying not to laugh because he was frustrated, but it was a little bit funny. But by the time we started headed over to lunch, he was getting the hang of it. We've been working super hard, so we figured that we would take a little break while we were out getting the rental car and running some errands to stop off for lunch. And Curt picked this great little place, and he found it pretty fast, and it was one of the greatest restaurant finds we've stumbled up on accident. It's a little deli, and you have to walk through a landscaping store where you buy plants and flowers and stuff, and in the back is where the cafe is, and you sit outside overlooking this little river. But what was so fantastic about it was the birds. Good.
2 or 3?
2. 2.
Pick a seat.
You pick, Curt. I don't care.
Maybe 29.
There you go. Perfect. Hey, Snow. Look at that weaver right there. He's just now starting his nest. He's just now starting. I don't think that's...
Unless they're two building it together.
I thought the male builds it. There he goes. Imagine what he could do if he had thumbs. What'd you get, Snow?
I got, it's called a fire and flame. It's got steak and caramelized onions and cheese and some other goodness on an open-faced white crusty sandwich. And it looks good.
All right, guys, and I got a lamb shake with potato puree. I believe this is like a fried spinach leaf. Some sauce and some vegetables. I see some eggplant, maybe some peppers, some squash. Looks tasty. All right, guys, we are making good progress. Now, today we got the rental car. I've got all the mats cleaned out. I cleaned the inside of the van. I got to show you guys this. You can see everything, all my tools and stuff are sitting here on the ground. I have to go through these, and there's just so much stuff we have to throw away. Fuel canisters, aerosol bottles. But I cleaned this. Look how nice and clean the door is. And I cleaned everything in here, so it's all nice, just like new. I still got to take down the dash cam. And look, guys, we got the divider wall in. I got that in. Now I got to put some more screws in that just to reinforce it, and a couple other things. I've got to wash it down. Everything up top is out of there. It just needs to be cleaned, and that'll be done. And then over here, look at this. All this is coming together. So this right here is the divider wall. So you can see it's in. And the refrigerator's clean. And all the cabinets are empty. Everything's empty. Still got my screw gun in here. Broom for last minute cleanup. But guys, we are getting close to getting this thing done. Look, I got to throw all these away. So I got some stuff left to do in here, but it's mostly done. I just got to put some finishing screws on this. But guys, we're getting there. We are getting there.
Curt told you about putting up the wall between the house part of the van and the driving part of the van. And for those that don't know, I wanted to tell you why we have to do that. Our van is too large to fit inside of a shipping container. So that would be the ideal way to ship, but it's not an option for us. We're too tall. So we ship a way called row-row. RORO, and it stands for roll on, roll off. And that means that you take your van to customs and it gets parked in this big, secure parking lot at the port. And when your ship arrives, the port workers get inside your van and drive it into the belly of the ship. That means that you have to leave your keys for the shipping workers to be able to drive your van around. And unfortunately, theft happens at these ports. Not all ports are known for theft, but some are. So we put up this wall, which means the ship workers can only get into the driving part, the cab of the vehicle, and that they would have to physically do some serious breaking and entering to get into the house part of the vehicle and into the garage. We even have some extra locks that we put on the sliding door and that we put on the back doors to make it just a little bit harder to open those up. And then Curt puts up that metal wall that is bolted in. It's not foolproof. Thefts still happen, but we do every deterrent that we can. So we also give them a key fob that you have to manually unlock the door. So you can't just hit the button. So the battery's dead on it. So they can't unlock the slider door or the back doors because they don't have the little manual keyhole. Only the driver's side door has the manual keyhole. So those are the preventative measures we're taking. And unfortunately, it's just a fact of shipping. And our shipping route is going through some high theft places. So we're always nervous about that because everything we own is inside this van. But I wanted to just drop in and explain that a little bit more, what the wall is actually for. We are starting to repack the van. 99% of the sorting is done. We have built up quite a bit of trash, as you can see from this big pile here. But we're getting there, guys, and Curt is starting to put the puzzle back together. There's a few little odds and ends left to do, like put the real license plate back on the van. 6 years ago, I can't believe it's been 6 years that we've been doing this. 6 years ago, before we crossed into Mexico, we had fake license plates made. Mainly because in the United States, we only have license plates on the back of our vehicles in most states. I know some states require both, but Florida, only on the back. And most countries around the world require plates on the front and the back. And we don't want to give any reasons for police harassment or extra scrutiny. So we were having one made for the front of the van that matched our back one, and we decided just to make two. So it would never get stolen, because having a Florida license plate might be a kind of cool little souvenir from some kids somewhere around the world. But we had two fake ones, but now that the ship is going to be taking the van back to the United States, it needs its real license plate put on. It's just still so surreal that this is happening.
The big test.
Is it gonna
Does this container fit?
Fit. It fits. Awesome.
Snug as a bug.
Nice. Snug?
Yeah, it's gonna be snug. All that stuff has gotta fit. Like, I could put this behind, but this is the space that we have. It's fine, we got plenty of room, but it's gonna be...
Yeah.
This lock is giving me hell. This lock is giving me a hell. The key won't open it, and I've drilled the whole entire thing out, and it still won't give up.
Oh no.
It's beating me up. I'm gonna get it. I'm pretty close, but ain't nothing easy about it, not even to the end.
All right, we have been at it for what seems like weeks, but it's just been a couple of days. maybe 3. We've made some really good progress. And today is the finishing touches on getting the van ready. Curt just about has everything in the van. He's working on getting that lock drilled out. We don't have any clippers or bolt cutters. And we have to do that so in case customs wants to look in the attic before it goes on the ship. So we'll just put some clips there and they'll be able to lift that up and see that it's empty up top. So that has to get done. Then we have to finish loading everything, turn the power off to the house part of the van. And it's not just a flip of the switch. Curt has to take the wires off. It has to be completely disconnected from the batteries. So he still has to do that. Then he can put his tools away, put everything in there and close the door. The last thing we're gonna do today is take the van up to the car wash, because not only do they care about what's in it before it goes on the ship, they care that it's clean too. So it's going to get its bath this afternoon when Curt gets done. We're about to get the van ready for its big final voyage.
That project took a life of its own.
Did you get it?
Holy shit, yeah, I finally did, and I had to drill it out 6 ways to Sunday. Woohoo! The thing wouldn't give up. It's a tough lot. Would have been a good commercial.
Here on the inside of things, where I've kind of been in charge, Curt's been the one in charge outside. We are making good progress in here as well. We're dwindling down the cat food pretty good. I know we told you we went to the pet store, but there is our pet carriers. We had that one, and we found this one. And I really love them because they have those zip outs to give them a little bit more room when we're just sitting in the airport waiting to board the plane. This scratchy pad has seen better days, so we will toss it when we leave here. Our food, we're doing good on that. We've about got it dwindled down to nothing. The official litter box has been put back in the van. We bought this small plastic one that will fit in the suitcase so we can take it with us. I have bundled up all of our toiletries the best I can. All that will be going with us. And let's see what we got in here. There's our clothes. Getting that packed up. There's our 2 carry-ons. Don't mind the mess, guys. It's been a hectic week. That'll be for everything else besides clothes that needs to go with us. So we've been busy in here too. And the cats, they're having a good time.
Yeah, we set out to walk 1,000 good miles from our hometown, leaving everyone behind as their slow fires die down. Once we left, we found it harder and harder to slow down, 'cause we set out to walk 1,000 good miles from our hometown. 1,000 good miles.
All right, everybody. From what I've heard, some rearranging had to take place over here. Let's go check in with Curt. See what's happening.
Man, notice there's not much loose stuff around here. It probably looks like a mess to you, but it is coming together. Everything that's in there is jam tight, and fortunately we've got most stuff out of the front of the van. Now we might have to have some little plastic containers we won't have space for, but this thing is going to be puzzle tight. You guys will see, and it'll all be jammed in there nicely.
It's also fairly warm today.
It's hot.
Here. So I brought Curt something to drink. He needs to drink. He's gonna get
Lemonade.
dehydrated.
Cheers, guys. Man, I can't tell you, this is a nostalgic moment, and the hard work makes it a lot easier, because to be honest with you, I'm ready to get this thing on the ship.
Well, it's almost there. Looks like Curt's doing some final packing, and then it just needs a bath on the outside, which we're gonna go to a car wash up the road and get that done. All right. You're a rock star, Curty. A rock star.
We're getting close.
So while Curt is putting the final pieces of his puzzle together here in the garage, remember I talked to you earlier about theft being a really big problem. So he's trying to put the more valuable stuff deeper into the puzzle, way back in the garage, hoping that if they do get in, they don't take everything and they take the stuff up front that isn't as valuable. But another good thing that happened is our Airbnb host decided she would buy our scooters, because if you remember, we can't take them with us, and that saves us from having to go to town and try to sell them and figure out what to do. So that's a big win, guys. We just got them washed up, cleaned up, and charged, and she's gonna swing by and get them when she has some time. It is all coming together. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you guys know when we put out new videos. And don't forget, you can always follow us over on Instagram to see what's going on in between videos. Cheers, guys.